Well, hello. Every gal needs a cowboy hat.
Scanning the room, you look for a familiar face. Everyone is a stranger. Your heart's racing, you feel nauseous. New plan. You meet 4 new people. Okay, 3. 2? You can handle 2. And then you think, I hate this. This just feels so fake. And before you talk to even 1 new person, you're looking for the nearest exit.
Okay. Crazy. Yo, who invited this chick?
My heart races when I walk into a room full of strangers too. Except it's not anxiety, it's excitement. I'm not thinking networking quota. I'm thinking, look at all these stories. And I get so pumped about talking to people that I don't know.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Hello, everyone. Welcome and happy hump day. Today's Wednesday. So my name is Gail Robertson, and I am with Gail Now, and I'm a marketing strategy guide. And I also do a live show here on LinkedIn as well as on YouTube. And today, well, this is a very special guest because this person also happens to be my son. And he was actually the creator of that opening video for me. So this is something that we have an interesting story to tell in terms of our journey through social media and marketing. And where my son is at, he is more of a content, he's more observes from behind the scenes, whereas I'm more out front with social media. So without further ado, let's bring on our very special guest today, Aiden Robertson.
Hello, hi, how's it going?
Ta-da! So, Aiden, you have just got back from workout at the gym. So I haven't even asked you about that. So how did it go?
It went really well. Today was legs day, so I can't really feel my legs and calves at all, but that's okay. I'm here, I'm doing the LinkedIn Live, and I'm ready.
You're ready to roll, right?
Oh, yeah.
That's great. So as I said at the introduction, you did the video for me at the start, and you've been in the last, probably, I guess, few years becoming more and more of a consultant to me, a consultant to the consultant. So in part of the promotion, I did promise that we were going to talk a little bit about TikTok and YouTube, because this is something that, and there may be some people here, well, from a few walks of life, but I think there might be some manufacturing people tuning in. Yes, I see David Chrysler. Hi, David. And Inger, of course, is here as well. So let's jump into talking about TikTok, YouTube, and you are representing all of Gen Z today, but no pressure. So can you talk a little bit about that? And I know your passion is also in stats and algorithm. So can you maybe give a bit of an overview of all of that in 30 seconds or less? No.
Sure thing. Okay, well, actually, I was kind of against TikTok at first because it was originally named Musical.ly. It was a completely different app for completely different things. People would just use it for lip syncing mainly. To different songs and stuff like that. It was kind of cringy. A lot of people like my age were like, what is this? It's dumb, you know? But it grew over time. It changed its name to TikTok, and it kind of got a whole new audience to get interested in it. And I fell in love with it after a while too, because I found out that it was actually something that was cool. And it wasn't just all this lip syncing, but it was so much more. It was an opportunity for stand-up comedians to find a shorter form content and for so much more things to grow. And as for YouTube, I've been a huge fan of YouTube since early days of its creation, with like really, really small creators growing along the way, and like getting to see that's really cool. And I watch YouTube while I'm cooking, while I'm doing laundry, whatever I'm doing during the day. It's kind of nice to have that going on and just playing the audio in the background, listening to podcasts, that sort of thing. Yeah.
I just want to say, super proud of my son, cooking, laundry. You noticed that? Well, and interestingly too, like I knew a little bit about YouTube, and one of the things I've in working in manufacturing, this is a platform that I see having great potential, because a lot more people are on YouTube without even realizing it. And certainly you introduced me to that. Like, I think I was seeing things on YouTube before I even knew I was into it. And we had someone guesting on the intro, Cody Co, who is quite brilliant when it comes to how he's used YouTube. Do you want to give maybe a little bit of background on that? Because he does comedy, but I've learned so much more about him and how he has used YouTube to great advantage.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of his stuff. He's a great content creator. He started out as just a tech developer. He did 4 years at Duke University. He was at the Olympic trials as a swimmer, and he actually got his big break, quote unquote, on Vine, where he blew up after developing a big app. He worked on Vine and he did a lot of comedy for short form. And then when Vine died, he was like, what do I do now? Moved over to YouTube, kept making content there, adapted, and found a way to have a nice, strong following. And now he has almost 6 million subscribers. And I'm a huge fan of his stuff. Yeah, he does reaction videos and stuff like that. Really funny, really great stuff. That's why I included him in the intro.
And look, he even reacted to me.
Yeah.
Not know it. Which is interesting. That kind of leads into the video work you did, because you did create that video. And one of the things that we talked about before is about how you're not actually out on social media as much as I am. I would say I'm much more out front. But what have you learned about how you've used YouTube and how you've sort of turned it into using it for your own purposes?
Yeah, so for YouTube, I've always had an interest in playing basketball. So I made videos for myself about progressing, like what I was doing throughout the days and throughout the weeks and stuff like that. And I thought it would be really interesting if, while I was learning how to do this, if I also learned how to edit my own videos and do all my own work for myself. So I started going along, editing 1 or 2 videos, and then eventually I was just doing all these videos, and it added up. And eventually I learned some things just on some free, Shotcut, which is a free video editor. It's not a big name thing. It's not Adobe or any of those big ones. But anyways, I ended up getting into doing some work for you by learning how to do that, learning how to make jump cuts and stuff like that. I think it's a really, really useful little tidbit to know how to video edit it, to know how to video edit, because it's so great and you can use it for so many different things. Yeah.
That is true. One of the things that I'm learning is that wouldn't be necessarily my greatest strength, but I can find people like yourself or others to help with video editing. And I think that's really key, again, for anyone in manufacturing to really take note, because you may want to find the Aidens of the world to help with video editing, because, and that leads into something you said about using platform, transitioning, changing over, like how Cody Co did, is sometimes we may need to keep ourselves sharp, I guess, when it comes to using social media. So now, as you know, I have dabbled in TikTok, and we have had some interesting times because, and full disclosure, I was like, how come my videos aren't getting, like 150, 200 views, but which is still, I guess, not bad. But so one of the things we talked about is sometimes doing things not necessarily, like if you try to go viral, maybe we can talk about that. What happens if someone tries to go viral?
They're trying too hard 99% of the time, right? If you're trying to go viral, you're doing TikTok for the wrong reasons. Honestly, if the reason you should be doing TikTok is to brand yourself, is to show off who you are and what you do. So whether that's, if you're in comedy, then that's showing off the best of your stuff in short form, right? You want to keep it to that 15 seconds as often as possible, because that's what people's attention spans are when they're going on the app. They're not looking to sit down and watch a documentary. They're looking to sit down and watch a short, funny video, if that's what they're on there for. Or if you want to give tips, if you want to give marketing tips, for example, right? Then you'd focus your audience on that and keep that in that brief 15 second. And yeah, that's how you be successful. But you do not want to go on there trying to be viral, trying to make it big and do something, it's just not how it works.
Yeah. There's some common tips that that I do when I am working with clients around that exact topic. And I would say the exact same thing. If you go on Twitter, if you go on LinkedIn, and it's only to try to gather, how many followers can I get? You're probably not going to end up having success. So the same rules apply, except I thought, I don't know, for a while when I was on TikTok, it's like, I thought it was kind of fun. But we've managed to see, some what works and what doesn't. And also, I think what I've learned is patience too, right? It's not, if you look at some people, you have to start somewhere and have fun with it. So I've been trying to do more of that as well. So in terms of, let's go back to maybe talking a bit more about tips for people trying to understand someone like yourself, Gen Z, using how you're using social media. And we talked about this. I often see you with your headphones, earphones in your ear, and some parents, especially, and some people of a different age group may think that, oh, well, you're just being rude, or you're not wanting to listen to parents. But tell me a little bit about why so many Gen Zers especially seem to be walking around with earphones.
Since I am the Gen Z expert that's been sent out to you today, I will share the secrets. So often Spotify and Apple Music are two different forms of kind of social media, I guess, that kind of go undernoticed, but that's where I'm on a lot of the time. I listen to music pretty much like 7 or 8 hours a day. I have all my favorite artists. I have all these different playlists set up, and I understand why some people may think it would be rude and disrespectful, which is why I try not to go on when I'm at work or something like that. But if I'm at home and I'm trying to decompress, I'm trying to relax or whatever, putting on music is a great way to do that. And that's often what's going on.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what else do you listen to when you're doing YouTube? Let's, since we're mainly focusing on YouTube and TikTok, I'd like to know a little bit about what things you're watching on YouTube and what are you doing on TikTok and why you like those two platforms.
I'd say it's a lot of three things. The first thing, as I mentioned, is music. The second thing is sports. I like to keep up to date on sports, whether that's YouTube or TikTok or whatever. And there's fun things that go along with that as well, right? Like it's not just all news and stuff like that. It's like making fun of a player's jump shot or something like that, something fun. And the third thing is just that I'm trying to listen to podcasts. So I keep up with my favorite content creators like a Cody Co or like H3 Productions or this or that or the other thing that I really like their work and what they do. And so I can listen and put them on in the background. And that way I don't have to have 100% of my attention devoted to it, which is what's so interesting and so great about YouTube is that if you want to sit down and watch something, you want to have that visual aspect, it's always going to be there for you. But audio going on in the background, it's so helpful to just have that so that if I can't have that visual aspect, it's okay. So I really enjoy that about YouTube. Things will keep playing in the background. Whereas on TikTok, it's very different because TikTok, you're looking at your phone and you have to be scrolling through each time to change the video or else you're going to get the same 10-second video on repeat a bunch of times and it's really boring. Unless you're in a thirst trap and that's what you're looking for, which I know you've fallen into a couple of times, which is okay. We've all been there, but yeah.
We'll back to that in a minute.
But yeah.
So TikTok, and one of the things that I learned that because sometimes I would have the phone on and it would because it just keeps repeating. So if you leave it on a certain video, tell me what happens if you keep watching that video over and over again.
The TikTok algorithm and the head honchos at TikTok Incorporated see that and they say, oh, ho, you like this? We're going to give you more of that, right? And so that's kind of how the algorithm goes. They have strong indicators and weak indicators for how they recommend videos to you. So a strong indicator is like, if you're watching a video over and over by the same creator, they're going to recommend that creator to you even more. Whereas a weaker indicator is like if that creator is in the same country as you, sometimes they'll recommend that a little bit more. But the strong indicators are much more important. So if you're watching popular creators and you're watching them over and over again, like some of the ones that you have on your For You page, then that's what's crafted for you.
Yeah. If nothing else, being on TikTok has really helped me to understand better algorithms and how it works because you can see it happening in real time, like what gets repeated. And also, like you said, now I understand all of a sudden something new come along and I'm like, oh, I haven't been watching that type of video, but all of a sudden I'll get that. And it's almost, and you're right, a lot of it's some Canadian people that they're putting in front of me. So, which I have started following. And I see David Chrysler is now my new TikTok. Thanks, David. So let's lead into, and I'm sorry I don't have that video up, but there is a TikTok that we did on the weekend because we were talking about going viral and the thirst trap. Now I'm telling anybody under a certain age, usually under 30, under 25, when I say, do you know what a thirst trap is? They do know. When I speak to, let's say, an older group, they're like, no, what is that? And so do you want to explain a thirst trap, and not necessarily how it relates to me.
Sure thing. Again, as the Gen Z expert, I'll break down this term for you. So basically, a thirst trap is when someone's making a video for the sole purpose of like keeping you hooked in and keeping you like looking at their page. So like it's pretty popular on Instagram as well. You'll see Instagram thirst traps where like a lot of Instagram models are like in bikinis, or like male models in bikinis, not bikinis, swimsuits, maybe bikinis. I don't know. It's 2021. But yeah. And so a lot of people will kind of fall for it and like go down this rabbit hole where they're looking at like all these pictures and stuff like that. And TikTok, Instagram, whatever, it's definitely on a bunch of different platforms.
Well, based on my friends talking about this, one of the things that I've noticed is there is a lot of, especially, well, men and women doing duets. So I have found, it can be kind of fun. They have someone that's singing a song like, for us, Old Islands in the Stream, or the Grease song is really popular. So you can duet with someone. So is that kind of thirst trap too when you do those things? Is someone's doing that? Asking for a friend?
Yeah, I guess that would be kind of like a little bit more of a maybe family-friendly version of a thirst trap, then, for sure.
Family-friendly thirst trap. So yeah, so that is a thing, and it's interesting because a lot of people think that people on TikTok are all of a certain age. I'm going to post this with mother-son tea. Whoop. Where'd it go? I don't know where it went. Yeah, that it's just young people, but I have noticed there's a lot of the over 40 crowd on TikTok as well. So is that changing what you're seeing as well?
For sure. I mean, some of the funniest content on TikTok is from older people doing trends. I think it's hilarious whenever like someone who's, a grandma or something like that is like trying their hand at doing like one of these trends, or trying their hand at doing a little dance or something like that. It's so funny, right? Because it's so nice to see that they're trying to fit in and trying to do their best for it. And it's really heartwarming. So I love to see that. And yeah, I definitely think TikTok's an app for all ages. It's not Gen Z exclusively. And that's what's so interesting about it, is that the For You page will cater to your age group as well. Right? So you're not going to get people who are 50 years, like your For You page and my For You page look completely different. Completely different. Not just for the thirst traps, but like we have different things that keep us interested in watching the videos to the end. And then there's a few areas where kind of like a Venn diagram, it overlaps in the middle, like the Cody Co and stuff like that, right? But for the most part, because we're so different in our tastes and stuff like that, grew up in different generations, whatever, even though you're my mom and I'm your son, we have these different interests. And so TikTok caters that on the plate for you and puts it up. Yeah.
And, there was a question I was going to ask. What was it? Oh, Barbara Corcoran, who we both like her, right? Barbara Corcoran of Shark Tank, originally of Dragon's Den too, but she does some funny stuff. Hers is very clever.
Absolutely. That's exactly what I'm talking about with trying to keep up with the trends. I saw one of her videos on my For You page of her doing this trend and stuff like that. And it doesn't matter if she's doing it right or wrong. People just love that she's trying. And all the comments underneath are like, oh my God, Barbara, who's running this account? It's hilarious and stuff like that. It's great. So it's perfect.
And the other thing is, my guess, she does have a team that's helping with that. I doubt she's sitting here doing her editing, but she does have some very clever things. And that's the other thing in the work that I do, as well as that understanding that sometimes you need to bring in people to help. Like I have the ideas, but to execute them, sometimes need to have help with the video editing. So definitely, Aiden, I think much potential for you down the road to become a video editor with all the knowledge you have of algorithms as well. That is fascinating to see the connection. And the other thing is, the other work that I do is really trying to get more people, especially in manufacturing, to get outside their comfort zone and to show up in terms of, doing something fun. Because if we're going to attract, and this is a segue now to attract, there was just a post that I had shared on LinkedIn talking about manufacturing, trying to get more young people into manufacturing. And I think we're going to have to do things differently. Handing out flyers at schools is probably not going to be the answer. So any like what you would say to manufacturers out there listening about how they might use some of these platforms?
I think it's the same thing that you and I did on our social media. It's just about trying, right? You're not going to get it right at first. But if you keep trying, you will eventually have success, even if it's just for yourself. Like, I know I didn't end up going viral, but I learned a lot and my friends got to see my progress, and that meant a lot for me. Now, I know it's a little bit different if it's for a brand because obviously you're trying to get your name out there. But the first step, which is always so important that a lot of people skip, is to make sure you're doing it right, but also just to show up and put it out there, right? Make content. It doesn't matter at first. It doesn't matter at first if it's bad, right? As long as it's not like terrible, you're doing terrible things on it. As long as you're just putting out content that you like and you enjoy and you think is great, that's the key.
Yes, I think that's one thing through whether you're a Gen Z, whether you're a millennial, whether you're a boomer, it doesn't matter. If you're putting out good content, you're going to, and that's where the algorithm, like you said, you will attract people that have similar, that are interested in you and want to connect with you. And I see Inger's on here, and that's one thing Inger has done really well on LinkedIn. I know she posts very little really about her work per se, but she posts a lot of things around gratitude and motivational quotes, and people are drawn to that. And I think that's why I decided to try TikTok, is that when I'm presenting and doing talks, I like to have fun. I like to add some, and you've said it best. Sometimes I think if I'm either trying too hard or if I'm trying to be that, professional, it doesn't work as well as when you are just being yourself. And when you can let down your guard and share some of those insights, which is what you did with your basketball on YouTube, which I was super proud of, because you did do some things and try some things, and you had different goals than someone else might have.
I have over 20 videos on my channel. And if you look at the difference between the first one that I made and the 20 whatever one I made, it's a substantial difference in terms of editing and the whole feel of the video. For one thing, my first video was 11 minutes and it was just me sitting down talking. And I would talk and go, every 5 seconds, right? And I didn't cut that out because I didn't know to do that, right? But eventually, as I would video edit, I would be watching another video on YouTube or on social media about how to do it. And it would help me go to my video and be able to edit it a little bit better and learn one or two things each time I did a video. And by the end of it, I learned to cut out all the nonsense, right? And so my video was like 6 minutes long. I was doing so many different things in it. Everything was cut down so that when I stopped talking at one point, it cut to me talking at a different point, and it ended up working out well.
And I remember when you did those slow motion, because that's on, right?
Yeah.
It's like a freeze frame. And you're right. Here's the thing. We really like to be entertained. At the end of the day, like you said, and I think this is something that we're going to really need to work on in a lot of sectors, is to address that idea of entertainment and not just trying to sell stuff. Because when you're just trying to sell and talk serious, I mean, you can have some of that. Obviously, even on TikTok and YouTube, there is serious content there. But overall, people want to get to know who you are. Now, if you are a serious person, that may work. But as you know, with each of us, I think me, more like to make my work fun as well.
Yeah, I think that's another thing with brands as well, would be to incorporate that humor. That's the best way to attract people. There was a post that someone made on TikTok that I saw the other day on my For You page. And it was a worker at Target, and he said, "Hey, Walmart, we have one of your carts hostage." And then if you look down at the comments, Walmart said, like, "We'll pay whatever it takes," So that's a good example of a brand kind of having some fun with it and playing along with the joke, right? And getting it, right? Yeah. I said to myself that day, hey, Walmart gets it. Walmart knows what's up. So that's a good place to be for Walmart.
I know actually someone who does some in Canada that does some marketing there. And I think because I know he's involved and he has definitely a comedy background, I can see some changes. I mean, it's one part of, obviously, when they're sitting around a table making decisions. But yeah, the more that individuals and companies can start to take down some of those guards, if we're going to grow, especially attracting young people to manufacturing, we're going to have to start having some fun, getting out there on TikTok, getting out there on YouTube, doing some things, or on any platform really, and showing more of who we are. So I want to go back a little bit with the last time remaining. I want to show a couple of, so for those of you watching, Aiden has grown up with where his mom has been more involved in social media than he ever has been. So
100%.
it was kind of like the roles have been reversed. Sometimes I think Aiden says, "Mom, get off your phone." So not too often I've had to say that to Aiden, except when he's watching a YouTube sports or music video. That's about the only time I think it's very seldom. So I want to show that, let me just see if I can find this. So I have, let's talk about this photo. This was Aiden and I at, that is, oh geez, his name's escaped me.
Michael DiPietro,
Thank you, Michael
goaltender for the Vancouver Canucks. Woo.
Thank you. Woo. See, look at, and I had a picture, and there was my son photobombing me, and that did go on social media. Yes, it did. Then we had some fun photos like this, where we're at a Spitz game, mom and son. Aw. Then we have another one. This was when I worked at Cypher Systems Group, where again, Ada used to come to me at events and was always, okay, we're doing a selfie, doing a photo, and I got to say it, and you've been a good sport through all of this. And now this was, here was a poster I helped him with. Let me get, here we go.
I know this one.
Oh, here we go. So Aiden was running for prime minister, and I said, okay, great poster, but you need a testimonial. So we decided,
not of Canada, just for high school. Just to
this was, yeah. Oh, by the way, yeah. This was for Walker High School. Thank you. So because I think at the end of the day, Aiden, we probably share a little bit of a similar sense of humor, that I think you did run with that, didn't you? Didn't that go up in?
Yeah. Oh yeah, that went up at the TV at school and stuff like that. Flashed yep. Oh yeah. And
whenever I went to Aiden's school, one of the things everybody would talk about, where they would often say, "Hey, Aiden's mom," whenever I went through the lobby. So, okay, now we have, let me see, one other, I think there's one other photo. Let me see if I can find, let's see, I think we've gone through. Oh, this was another where we met, DJ, I think that's DJ Smith, right? Yes, he's up in Ottawa. I hope I didn't get his name wrong. He's a big deal though.
Don't know who he is, but he's really
no,
cool.
I do know. I know. So yeah, whenever I was at events, but I tell you, one of the things that's really, I've taken selfies with people and it's helped me connect with them. And it's always fun. I always do, selfies to me, it's not just myself, it's usually with other people in them. And it's been the start of many conversations and connections with people. And then what's that?
Sorry, I don't know if it's in Britain or Australia, but when you take a selfie with a group of people, it's called an Ussie. Just a little fun fact to throw out.
There we go. Aiden, you always provide me with some of those fun facts, trivia that I love. I mean, hey, I wouldn't have known about Cody Co if not for you. So I appreciate that. And hey, one day maybe he'll be sitting here. I'll be interviewing him. What do you think?
Oh yeah,
maybe he'll invite me on his show.
Ooh, you come on the podcast? Yeah, that'd be awesome.
A girl can dream. Okay, now the last photo, I didn't realize till I go to show this earlier. Okay.
Oh my gosh! Oh, we're showing this one.
Okay. I said, "Oh, here's my son and his friends. These are the characters that." There we are, and there's my son. Yes, because I said, "Oh, I'm sure he does this so that I won't post it on especially on Twitter. I wouldn't post that. Maybe TikTok. That might be. Hey, this might be a future TikTok. But we have Sam on the right and Nick in the middle. There we are. Good kids. So, and it's pretty funny too, because a lot of your friends follow me on Instagram, and it's kind of, I'm sure.
They love what you do. Hey, so keep it up. Keep up the good work.
And I'm Gail Now 1 on Instagram. So
yeah.
Okay, well, I think actually Inger has said, can we have a part 2 of this conversation? Gail and Aiden, so much value here. Well, there might be, maybe once we will delve into TikTok and manufacturing maybe a bit more. I do see some people in manufacturing just dipping their toe in the water. But like, as with any platform, it takes work and effort. It's not just, throwing something up there. And I found actually the ones that are the simplest, and I actually have surprised, like, what? How come that took off? Like, there's been ones that make no sense to me why they take off. And then ones that I think, oh, this is so gonna rock it. They don't. So that's where, you have to just get out there and try different things. And I see Brian is here, Brian Forster. So Brian does some amazing things on YouTube. For anybody listening, if you're not following him, especially in manufacturing, please go follow him, connect with him. He does some great things on YouTube. And I know he does get videos edited, and he rocks. And I love his content because he's doing things. Actually, Brian, they would probably be great even on TikTok. So we'll have to talk. Maybe we'll do a TikTok together or something. I don't know. So, and Mitch Jackson is here. Mitch Jackson is in the house. Hi, Mitch. I met Mitch through networking. I think it was an Agora Pulse. And Mitch is a lawyer who uses social media to share content and share. I mean, just also someone you should follow. And he says, TikTok is so much fun. Yes, combining entertainment and being unique and adding value is the way to go. So yes, Mitch, that's, and Gen Zer, Aiden agrees. Brian says the job gets in the way of sometimes doing more. I hear you. I've actually given myself a timeout from TikTok because it is okay. Well, before we finish, Aiden, TikTok can be addictive. Tell me about why how does that happen?
Well, it's just kind of a combination of the things we were talking about earlier, right? So if an algorithm is perfectly crafting this thing for you, it knows what you like, right? Mm-hmm. And that can be a blessing and a curse, because if it knows what you like and all the little ins and outs about yourself, and like maybe you find this thing really funny, so this will definitely keep you on if they put this here. And this, you think this is super interesting, so they're going to add that there too. So it's just all this content that you're going to want to keep watching. And next thing you know, it's 3 a.m. and you're curled over on your bed with your phone, and right. So it's crazy. I mean, no, that's never happened, right? But yeah, I mean, it can be a great thing if it's like 5 minutes in between your shift and you want to decompress and laugh at a couple things, but definitely falling down those rabbit holes is something you do not want to do. So it is very dangerous.
It is never 5 minutes. And I tell you, for anybody that does decide to jump into TikTok, I mean, because it is addictive, and if you can crack that content, it's amazing. And it will, I'm sure there's lots of people that have done it. And I mean, even that we're talking about, Barbara Corcoran is a really good example of someone that's been able to use it and use it well. So, okay, well, thank you, everyone. Brian has been commenting. I see Brian and David are connecting, so that's great to see as well. And thank you, Aiden, for coming on and showing up and being a great guest. And I will say this, I am going to be having in the future, I've already reached out to a few people on TikTok to invite them on here, because I think when we're talking about showing up, these are people that are showing up, and I have a couple of people on my radar that I will be looking into. So if you would like to see more TikTok show up guests, comment, like,
subscribe. Yeah.
Subscribe. And if there's any topics that anyone's interested in, I will endeavor to go find someone on TikTok, because there's the one thing about people on TikTok, man, they are not shy. They're not shy. So there's people doing all sorts of amazing things. So more to talk about. I think we are going to have a part 2 just to delve into TikTok a bit more. So okay. Thanks, everyone. I'm going to just send you to the green room, Aiden, and we'll connect there. Okay, thanks everyone for joining today. I must say, I am super happy that I could have my son as part of my work. For those of you that know me, I love what I do. I love that being curious. I love showing up, and certainly my son did show up today, and I'm glad that some of the people in the comments could join in and take part in this today. So you can follow me here on LinkedIn. I am on TikTok as Gail now as well. Please, no judgment. Okay, no, go ahead, judge me, it's fine. And then let's see, I am more active on Twitter, periodically on Instagram as Gail Now 1, and I am on YouTube. I do post a lot there as well. So please connect with me here if you have any questions. And I also do, I am a guest on podcasts as well as do speaking events. So if anyone wants any more information about that, let me know. You can visit at my website. And yes, Brian, well, Aiden does have LinkedIn, kind of, sort of. And maybe, Brian, now that you've asked that, you can find him as Aiden Robertson. He may need to work with Inger, though, on getting his LinkedIn profile updated. But right now, he has not utilized it as much. But maybe after today, he will want to do that. Okay. Thanks, everyone. Have a great day, and we will talk soon. And I will probably be putting next schedule up for my next Gale Now Live. Ciao, everyone.